Welcome to Certified Hoop Legends, presented by Certified by the City. I'm your host, Rico Laurie, our co-host, Michael O'Quinn. And today on the show, we got Jelani Gardner, former McDonald's All-American, Cal, Pepperdine, played overseas. How's it feel to be on the show, man?
It's a blessing. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, you're certified by the city.
That's love.
Nice to have you here.
That's love.
Yeah, absolutely,
Flowers.
man.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That's what we do, man. We give all especially our California legends, we give them their flowers, we show them their love. But this one is especially a dear one for me because I've been playing against him and playing with him, and we've been in some camps together. We've been on the court together. We've done a lot of stuff together. He's been on a wonderful journey, a life journey that we've talked about over. We had a few conversations over COVID a couple times, just about just pure life. He's a great person and a great friend of mine. I want to welcome everybody. This is Jelani Gardner. And Jelani, just start off with, just how'd you start playing basketball? Just give us when was the first time you really, really started your love and everything?
I think my basketball journey started probably around 4 or 5 years old. My father was a big influence in my life. He passed in 2019. May he rest in peace.
Hey, rest in peace.
But he was a
Great man.
he was a great father and a great leader of a family. But he played basketball. He's from South Carolina. He played basketball in high school and he went to college for basketball. But from his point of view, he felt like he was ahead of his time. He was doing finger rolls and finishing different ways when the coaches had you playing kind of robotic.
Right.
So he kind of quit basketball because he felt like he was being restrained from being his true self out there on the court. But he put one in my hand probably about 4 or 5 years old. And I grew up in Gardena, California, Gramercy, 132nd and Gramercy, right by Raleigh Park, walking distance from Raleigh Park. But my father put a court on my roof, and he actually put it up to probably like 11 feet to put an arc on my shot. That's how
That's where that
technical.
came from.
That's how technical
where
he
the arc
was
came
with my
from, yeah.
development. I definitely had a arc on my shot throughout my career, but he played a part in that. So about 4 or 5, I started playing ball, just in the driveway, with my older brother.
Yeah.
I got an older brother, older sister. They both played ball. They went to Palisades. I got a younger sister who went to Morgan State D1. My older sister played at Cal State LA with Tina Ball.
Oh, wow.
And my
Yeah.
uncle was a coach there on the men's side. So I spent a lot of time at Cal State LA during my 9, 10, 11-year-old days. But that's where it started.
What about middle school? Where'd you go to middle school at?
Middle school, I moved to West Covina when I was 11.
Okay.
So I went to Edgewood Middle School. They combined all the schools in the West Covina area. And that was the first year I entered 7th grade. So we had a lot of athletes there. Jamil Mahmood is one. He went to Colorado
God.
State.
Yeah.
Lawrence Phillips,
Mm-hmm.
the great ex-football player, may he rest in peace. He grew up with us.
Yeah.
Nebraska and Miami Dolphins, etc. He grew up with us, and we were balling every day.
Now you started at Raleigh Park, right?
Right.
So Raleigh Park was in the hood, right? Shotgun, right? Okay,
Shotguns,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Now, you moved to West Covina. Tell me about that transition, just the whole, you going from Gardena, and then you playing in the leagues out there. You started playing basketball at Raleigh Park, and you was playing in the Park League, right?
Right.
And so when you went out there, was your dad like, okay, this is just, we got this time to go to travel ball?
I actually played all sports growing up. I was really
Okay.
good at baseball. I was a really good pitcher. I could throw with a lot of velocity. Played shortstop and pitcher. Could hit really well. I could have probably pursued baseball. I actually started baseball probably before basketball. And then in 7th grade, I played football. I was a quarterback.
That's where all the good passing.
Yeah.
And that was in
Yeah.
West Covina.
Yeah, it kinda
So it was
was.
some good football out there in West
Yeah, I
Covina,
played
right?
for the
Yeah,
Covina
okay.
Vikings.
He was
And we
a
came
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
We came back and played the
I mean, y'all couldn't do no with Carson though,
Yeah.
but I mean, y'all was in
Carson
Carson, right?
Raiders
Though,
and
yeah,
all them
okay,
dudes,
yeah,
Orange
yeah.
County.
Yeah,
Orange County, you know.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about
we're gonna get into that.
Actually,
We're gonna get into
the
that
Orange
later, though.
Bengals.
Yeah.
Actually, the Orange Bengals
Okay.
separated my shoulder. That
Oh
retired me
yeah.
from football in
Yeah.
8th grade. Got sacked by them big old white boys out there, and
Yeah.
that was it for that.
Yeah.
Separated shoulder. I still didn't have my left like I wanted to use it. I had a restricted movement in that from that, but yeah, Raleigh Park was different because you had to cross the bridge to get to the park to go hoop, play baseball, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
All the shotguns were there, but it was all, people
Love.
we grew up with. It
Yeah.
was all love. So I was, from that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then, all the kids I grew up with, they became probably gang banging and stuff later on after I left.
Yeah.
But my dad had a confrontation. I think they took my brother's football one time and they rode their bikes over to the house. And Pops threw one of their bikes and got into it. They started tagging up the house, and we ended up moving shortly after that to West Covina.
Yeah.
Now, West Covina was real diverse. It wasn't as many black, Perchie Avenue, where I went to elementary, was all black. We had probably one white kid.
Wow.
And then I moved to West Covina. They had no black tops. They had grass in the fields. They did like calisthenics at PE class and stuff. And we played every sport. We had a football team. We had a basketball team. We played against the other local schools or whatever. And there was a lot of black kids out there too, but not, not like LA, of course. But all of that stuff nurtured me as an athlete.
Got you, groomed you, got
Groomed
you
me,
there for high
yeah.
school. Now, what was the first high school you attended?
I went to Bishop Amat in 9th grade. I played varsity, average 18 points a game. We were playing against Reggie Gary that was in our league, Mater Dei, Santa Margarita, Servite,
Loyola.
I was playing against Toby as a freshman. And it was great competition. That was really big in terms of my development because those dudes were older than me.
Yeah.
And I was thrown into the fire.
And before you started high school, your dad, you was playing at West Covina, right? When did you start playing AAU and stuff like that? And how did you get into it? Did somebody see you or anybody was like, hey man, I know this kid out in West Covina, he can go? Because back then AAU was very selective.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story because actually my brother went to UCSB after high school and he came home and had a summer job at Edison. And that's where Tracy Murray's dad worked. And I guess they got to talking. He said I had a little brother, but I was reading about Tracy in the newspaper around that time. And they would always mention he had a little brother in 6th grade and he was the best in the country. And he was the same grade as me. And I felt like I had some skills and I wanted to see where I stood.
Right.
And in 8th grade is when he took that job. They talked and they brought me out for a tryout at North Hollywood with Cam and his team. Crazy as that is.
ARC?
And it's
ARC.
but it's some monsters there too. So you go in there, I know you probably went in there and you was like, all right, I'm gonna do my thing, but you was like, okay, it's some cats in there that can go too.
Yeah, I wasn't used to seeing people my size and the same grade as me, but Pops had always played me up. When I was 9, 10, 11, I was playing with 13 to 14-year-old. I got my first MVP in the city of Gardena at 9 years old. I remember we got a family picture. I fractured my finger that day and still hooped. Got MVP for my first MVP at 9. Yeah, I went out there and I never been scared. I never been scared. I always been confident. My father was really confident. He was really he was arrogant. And he would tell us stories about what he did and nobody could mess with him. He was arrogant, and it kind of gave me a boosted confidence that I could do anything that I put my mind to because, the way he spoke. And I went to the tryout, I made the team, and then we started playing travel ball. Next thing I know, we playing at Carson against Slam and Jam, and I'm in a new environment, but I guess I held my own,
Yeah.
started making a name
Yeah.
for myself.
That was Rich Goldberg,
Yeah.
right?
Rich
Coach
Goldberg.
Goldberg. And so they,
Yeah.
what you playing against Slam and Jam will be like Ricky Price,
Ricky
Yeah.
Price,
James Cotton,
Jason Pickett.
Jason Pickett.
And
Yeah.
I came from the hood, so it wasn't no traumatizing.
It wasn't no trauma. Okay,
It wasn't no
cool.
traumatizing thing for me, but
Cool.
they was good players at that age, and they was comparing me and Ricky
Yeah.
Price because we was both like
Big guards.
6'2",
Yeah.
6'2" in 8th grade,
Yeah.
and
And there
we could
wasn't a
shoot
lot of
and
big
handle.
guards then.
Right,
Yeah.
it wasn't normal to be a guard, but my father always emphasized me being a guard.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't never me being younger, playing older, allowed me to be a guard where I was tall as other guys,
Yeah.
but me being younger, I was a ball handler or whatnot. And he emphasized that it's due to his direction that I became a guard.
And you was always tall as a kid, or did you have a growth spurt?
I was
You was always tall?
I was always 5th grade, I was 5'4", 6th grade, I was 5'7", 7th grade, I was 5'11", 8th grade, I was 6'2",
Mhm.
9th grade, I was 6'3".
Yeah.
10th grade, I went to 6'5". 11th grade, I finished at 6'6".
Yeah. And then you went to Bishop Amat from there.
Went to Bishop
Okay.
Amat
Good.
for high school.
And then tell us about your transformation from going from 8th grade to now you, I think, a starting point guard at Bishop Amat, right?
Early on in my career, I played the 2.
Okay.
Cam was the 1 on that 8th grade team. I
Okay.
was a 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I played the 2 at Bishop Amat. I was
Okay.
a scorer, but I could always pass.
Mm-hmm.
And I averaged 18 as a freshman, like I said. Then my sophomore year, I went to 25.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got invited to the ABCD camp after that sophomore season.
How was that? How was that situation?
That was a situation where it was another like shocking situation, seeing all these great players all over the country.
Yeah.
All of them tall, all of them dunking, screaming, and all from all over the place.
Was that at Irvine?
That was at Irvine, the first ABCD camp, and I went with Sonny and rocked with him and showed. I had a choice out of Nike and ABCD, and Sonny called me, and for some reason I just had a bond with him and rocked with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I switched to point guard.
Yeah.
Because I saw all these players my size and everybody just wanted to score. And I went out there and I was handling and breaking people down and dropping dimes. And I was like 3rd in the camp in assists.
Put you on the map.
And it put me on the map.
What I
So
remember
as a
from that
point
camp-
guard, that's when
Yeah.
I became a
Yeah.
point guard.
Yeah.
And what I remember from that camp, because I was there too. Now, what I remember from that camp was the battle between you and Tariq Turner. When y'all was going at it. It was you. Do you remember Tariq Turner?
I remember Tariq, but I don't remember the battle.
Well, you and Tariq Turner was doing, like, y'all was going at each other, and Tariq did a move, and then you did a move, and then all of a sudden, you probably don't remember this. Like, it was like, when we was in Irvine, right? It was like all the California players.
Yeah.
We was all supporting the California players, and then it would be like the Michigan dudes.
Everybody was supporting
Everybody was supporting each other.
Yeah.
It was all like, when you did something, niggas was like, yeah. But everybody was hating on us a little bit because we were so deep in that one. Because I think we might have had we had a lot there at Irvine.
We represented.
Yeah, we had a lot. We had a lot.
You know, the first game at ABC, I remember this. It was the first game when games started. My game was like the only game being played.
And that might have been.
And everybody was watching that game. And I remember I hit him with a between the leg behind the back, and then I crossed him, and I mixed him with that. Then I went up and dropped it to Olivier St-Jean, and he banged it out, and the crowd kind of had that oohs and ahs. And then that was kind of like my coming out party to the country.
Definitely.
And then after that, I started being ranked and nationally known somewhat.
You was number 1 in the country at the PG position.
By my senior year, they had this Fab 40 in Oregon at the Nike facility, and all the top 40 players in the country were there, and I really killed that.
Okay.
And that's what I became the number 1 point guard in the country.
I remember you was the number 1 PG.
But it was because Allen
94.
Iverson was locked up, so I can't take full credit.
Hey, I was really 93.
No.
I was supposed to be 93.
He was always
94.
He was
I
always
started 93 when
94.
he went to jail.
No, he was 94, but he went to jail for his last year. So, you know, he went to Nike camp.
He went to Nike camp that year.
And I went to ABCD, so we never faced off with each other, and he wasn't at that. He ended up getting out
that
of
was
jail
your
to
senior
go
year,
to
though.
ABC, to the Nike camp to go play a little bit.
Yeah.
They let him out.
How you think that matchup would have went?
It would have been interesting because, you know, I wasn't going back down. He wasn't going to back down.
Right.
I ended up matching up with Stephon Marbury at ABCD. I ended up finished ranked 7th in the camp, and Ricky got ranked 3rd. And I think Stephon was number 1 and Felipe was number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
But I was about winning championships.
Yeah.
I really was about winning. And we had, in that camp, the senior year, it was the California team all together.
Yeah, with folks.
Yeah, and we played
Carmichael.
We had Tremaine Folks, Tony Gonzalez, J.R. Henderson, Ricky Price. We all on the same
I think y'all had
team.
Trayvon Carmichael too.
Yeah, that's my cousin. Trey is my cousin from South Carolina.
That dude was a savage.
Yeah, he was a monster.
He was a beast.
And I told him we should have been in high school together. I could have stayed at Bishop, but I don't know if he would have made it.
But he ain't making it at Bishop. But what made you so you was at Bishop for my first 2 years. What made you decide to go to St. John Bosco?
It was actually Cam again, and we both have a big influence on each other's lives because I see some of his posts, and he talked about how I started lifting weights, and that influenced him on how he needed to get on the weights or whatnot.
You talking about Cameron Murray, right?
Cameron Murray,
okay, yeah,
Tracy's
Cameron Murray,
little brother. Because we in the same area.
Yeah.
When I moved to West Covina, we like 10, 15 minutes apart now.
Yeah.
So I lost to Jock Vaaron my first 2 years in high school at Bishop Vermont. I met him in the 2nd round, and he would knock me out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Cam made it to the 3rd round, and when you get to the 3rd round, it's at a neutral site. Yeah. So it was at Cal Poly. And I went to that game, and I was just like mesmerized, like, I got to play on this type of stage.
Yeah.
I need to play in front of people like this and show what I can do. And I went back home and told my dad I need to transfer. Because my team was primarily seniors at Bishop. They were all graduating. I was going to take in some young guys. I probably could have averaged 40 or whatnot, but I wasn't about that. I needed to get to the championship levels to be the player that I wanted to be. So I told him James was at St. John Bosco, and my old ARC coach was at St. John Bosco from 8th grade. Okay. And that's what made me move to Bosco.
Okay. So that was only 1 year you did?
I did 2 years over there.
Yeah.
First year with James, and the second year was with Shay.
93, yeah.
Second year was with Shay as a freshman.
Did you guys
my junior
CIF your senior year?
My junior year, I think we lost in the semifinals.
Yeah, you did lost.
Yeah.
You lost in the semifinals.
John got me 3 times in high school. Yeah. But that 3rd year, I was ready for him.
Yeah.
I was ready. I was ready to go. But you know, back when we grew up a year older, it would make a difference back then.
That's true.
And I don't know. I didn't have a mindset to go attack people like I should have, like I was as a grown man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you was attacking though. It wasn't like you wasn't. It was a game. But you couldn't. That's a game. I'm gonna tell you. We're gonna keep it real. It was in Dina. It was wild. You know that game was wild, and there was a lot going on. Yeah. So you did your part. But I was trying to tell. I had a conversation with Rico. So that same year, right? We lost to Crenshaw. And we beat y'all that year, right? And I've been telling Rico, and we had this conversation that it was a lot of good teams out there that was good.
It was a very talented.
It was a lot of good teams out there.
And you know, the thing about our generation, even the average player could shoot and play.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So where the average player now is not very good.
Yeah.
And the best player might be average 12, 13, 14 points.
Right.
Yeah.
Back then, everybody on the All-Star teams was averaging 20+, even as freshmen and sophomores, you know what I mean? But people put more time into their skills alone, maybe. I did. I know that. I worked on my game.
Definitely.
My father taught me as a youth to work on my game, and that's how our relationship, getting admiration from my father. I'll be like, look, Daddy, look how hard I'm working, and I'll be showing my sweat.
Yeah.
This is like at 5, 6 years old. He'd be working on the car after work. I'll be in the driveway working. But he taught me to work hard. So that working on my game, in high school, I put my radio in the backyard, and I go out there for an hour, 2 hours, just working on the same move over and over and over till it was just clean and I could count on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like at ABCD, when I go between the legs and rap it, that ball's coming out over here, and to trust that you're gonna be able to yank him on that cross, you got to know your moves is tight and your jumper is wet. So working on it by myself, we didn't have trainers.
Yeah.
I'm working by myself. I'm lifting weights, and I'm also going to hoop at every park, going from park to park to sundown, whatever, too.
Yeah.
So that's the type of time it takes to be a great player or whatnot. But my junior year, I averaged 19 points and 11 assists a game.
That's a double-double.
I
Big time.
sacrificed my scoring because my sophomore year, we beat St. John Bosco with James both times, and I averaged 25 points a game. So I went with James and let him be the senior guy. I don't know what he averaged points-wise, but I
About
just was a
25,
pure
yeah.
I was a pure passer, and I could still get 20. But I had games of 17, 18 assists. It's one of the records that's still up there, even though they don't have my jersey up there.
Yeah.
And that was the first championship my senior year.
Yeah.
We beat Dominguez with Tommy Prince, Jamie Gillen, Kenny Bruner was a freshman.
Yeah.
But that was the first championship in any sport in St. John Bosco school history.
Wow.
Yeah.
In any sport.
Now, I would say that probably was the takeoff of that school as far as sports-wise. Yeah.
But
They got a taste of that. They got a taste of that championship, and they was like, "Oh, we like this." Yeah.
They didn't give
No.
me, they don't give me my love, but you guys
They
are giving me
should.
some flowers.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
my jersey
Yeah.
should be retired, being a
It
state
should.
player of
Yeah.
the year.
And a McDonald's All-American.
McDonald's All-American, yeah.
number one point
Yeah.
guard in
Yeah.
the country,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. I had a press conference to announce what school I was going to. I'd never done anything like that before,
Yeah.
and it was packed.
Yeah.
You know,
And I've had that
Because the
conversations
shadows
with
were there.
many of people about people's like Bosco. I was like, nah, nothing. Bosco wasn't like that except when Jelani and James was there. Because when y'all came, like y'all brought a following. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The game that we played against them, I think it was 1,000 at the door who couldn't get in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fire
It was-
hazard.
yeah. And so half of it was Bosco. Like they brought. You know what I'm saying? Bosco wasn't known like that.
They wasn't
basketball
packing
like
their
that.
own gym
That-
out.
yeah,
let
not
alone
like
other
that.
people's.
And I'm talking about it was, and Jock had a lot to do with it too. You know what I'm saying?
It was a
That Jock,
dysfunctional
it was a Jock.
you-
The thing was, let's keep it real. It was kind of Jock Jelani. That was
That was the
selling point. Me and James was good. You know what I'm saying? We was good, and we were really talented.
Hey,
I'm not undervaluing myself.
Nah,
but I'm keeping it real. It was all four of us.
It was you and
It was all
Jock
four of us.
against
You was
me
one
and
of them
James and the rest
That's
of
what
our
it was.
team.
That's
Yeah,
what it
no
was.
doubt
It was
about
me
it.
and Jock versus you and
and
James.
that dunk
But-
you had in
yeah.
the last 3 minutes or whatever to change the momentum of the
change
game.
Yeah.
We couldn't recover. I never seen the game. I never studied it, but just playing as a grown man and as a pro, I know I took over games then, and I would have tried it that night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't know what I did. I'm sure I tried, but
Yeah.
I could have really tried and went out on my shield. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Now from Bosco, McDonald's All-American game. Tell me about that. So it was California had what I want to say. It was you, Ricky,
Maybe some more should have made it. Trey
yeah,
should have.
yeah.
Trey
could have made it. Toby could have made it.
Shit,
You know what I'm
Chris
saying?
could have
We
made
could
it.
have had Chris could have made it. So we could have had a lot.
Yeah.
So tell me
You
about that
guys-
game.
With
Yeah.
Crenshaw winning that championship the way they did, if not both of those guys,
Both
one of
of
them
them.
should have been.
At
in
least-
there.
Yeah. At least one.
At least, at the
uh,
least.
I think you should be rewarded for winning.
Yeah.
Ricky was ranked really high. They really liked his game as a prototypical two with his mid-range, high jumping shot. He
Yeah.
was athletic,
Yeah.
quick. Toby had a great career. J.R. Henderson had
J.R.
a great
Henderson, that's
Henderson.
right.
Yeah.
Trey Folks, Chris Johnson. There was a lot of
It was
guys that
stacked.
could have been up for it, but I really wanted to
Mhm.
I really wanted to prove that I was the best. And that was a real competition within the competition because we all grew up together.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show that I was the best out of all of them. I felt like I was better than Ricky too, humbly
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
You know what
As
I'm
you
saying?
should.
As
Good
you
compliment.
should. Feel
Humbly
like that.
speaking.
Yeah.
Respect to
Yes,
everybody.
yeah.
I felt like I was, because Ricky had never beat me before. Even in the RC, I used to beat him.
Yeah.
At Bosco, he was at Sarah, I beat him. In St. Anthony's, I
Yeah.
beat him. But he had talent, no doubt about it. He was a great player.
It was a lot of build up with you going to Cal. One, because now you're replacing Jason Kidd.
Mhm.
And how was that for you? How did you feel about that?
The day I found out I made the McDonald's All-American, I was up in the Bay. UCLA was playing Cal up there at the Oakland Stadium. And J Kidd put on a show and had that arena so electric. I'm just feeling it inside, like I'm buzzing inside, like when I first saw Breaking with my mama as a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling that emotion. And that kind of swayed me. I knew he was leaving, but I also knew what type of player I was. I was a scoring point guard before that was popular.
Right.
I averaged 28, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, or 6 assists my senior year. So I knew I was a 25, like 30 point, 20 plus scorer, and I knew I could assist. So I felt like I had to go to a certain school to be able to do that.
Right.
And I'm looking at it at UCLA with Tyus there. My first year, I would have had to play the 2. And probably the backup 1, and him being a senior or whatnot. And I'm looking at Cal, I'm saying, oh, we got Trey, we got Tony Gonzalez, got Randy Duck, we got Monty Buckley. I know my Buck because he played on the older ARC team.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man, we could compete with anybody with this team, and maybe I'll be able to really play my game over here.
Right.
So in hindsight, I should have gone to UCLA because UCLA was in my heart from like 8th grade. I was going to their games, and I was watching all their games. I still watch UCLA games to this day, man. But I was thinking about with Bose, and I'm talking to him more than I'm talking to Eric, and he's the head coach. But in hindsight, I got a better relationship to this day with Eric than I do with Bose.
Yeah, because you would have started right off the bat.
I think I would have started.
Cameron Dollar was the point guard.
No, he was the backup.
He was the backup.
Tyus, me and
No,
Toby
Tyus.
me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Me
Tyus
and
was
Toby
there.
would
But
have
Toby
had the
came
battle.
off the bench, though. I think
He ended up starting that
He ended up
year.
starting it.
But we would have had the battle
That's
for
true. I
that
forgot
two
about
guard
Tyus. He
spot.
was there.
So I could have gone back to my 2 guard and been shooting like off of Tyus's path. But I still would have been able to create and do what I did. But I don't know, man. You know, it's a lot going on during that recruiting process. And I went to Sonny's house the night before I made my decision, and he didn't steer me one way or the other. We had dinner, and I was just like, I told my parents, I think I'm going to go to Cal. I always been offbeat like that. Just like when I went to Bosco, nobody would have saw me going to Bosco. And just how that went, and it went perfect for me. I'm thinking, oh, they got the same colors too. Let me go ahead and do this and set this one off too like that.
And then you had the situation at Cal, and you had to transfer. You decided to transfer. Now you at Pepperdine.
What happened was, my freshman year, I averaged 14.7 assists, but we ended up with a 500 record and didn't make the tournament. But I set the freshman, I was second, I think, maybe behind Kevin Johnson with the assist record or something like that. If I had those numbers today, I'd be a top 5 pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a freshman.
Easy.
And I came off the bench for most of the year. But what happened was I lost my way in terms of my lifestyle. I lost my discipline. You know, I didn't believe in God. My dad was an atheist, and that didn't steer me in the right direction. My mother would tell me, thank God, when I got awards for different things. I would do it because she told me. I didn't believe. So I got a humble invitation by Tony Gonzalez. Jay, come to some Bible studies. I'm like, man, I'm good, bro. I'm cool. And I didn't go. So I lost my way, started, living a little vicariously through my name and thinking I'm better than people because of who I was. And God had to humble me going into my sophomore year physical. They do a normal physical. The urine test finds protein in my urine.
I remember that time. I was around you a little bit around that time.
Yeah, after that summer, Trey was kicking it tough in LA.
Yeah.
And I started drinking. I didn't drink in high school.
Yeah.
I didn't do, a lot of things I didn't do. But, drinking or whatnot. So right then and there, the doctor told me I'm going to have a kidney transplant. As soon as he got that protein in my urine, we met with a kidney doctor. He said, your career is over. You have to have a kidney transplant within 2 or 3 months.
Which halted your NBA draft chance.
It was over from the moment he said that.
And you were a freshman still.
This was
going into your
summer, going into my
sophomore year. Okay.
My first game, my sophomore year, I had 25 and 8 on 8 for 8 shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a problem medically. And we were I was planning on leaving that year. I was
Yeah.
on the first round
Yeah.
draft boards or whatnot. And once that kidney hit, it was over for that. Because I'm gonna have to have a transplant eventually.
Yeah.
He said 2 or 3 months. It ended up being 5, 6 years or whatnot. But from that moment, he said that I couldn't pass an NBA physical.
Now, after that point, tell us about your relationship with Bozeman. I think there was a situation where you ended up leaving, and there was some discrepancies or something like that, to where somebody said that they gave you money, or was that correct or anything like that? Or
What happened?
Bozeman said something, or
What
there was a
happened was,
situation.
around my sophomore year, I had an uncle who was an NBA agent. He was
Okay.
agent for James Casey. He was agent for Benoit Benjamin and some other players. So he hipped us to the game of basketball, the business of basketball. When we came out, he and my father had worked out a deal where Cal was going to pay the family $25,000 a year. I knew nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
They kept that away from me because I didn't need to know anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was none of my business. It was for the family mainly to travel or whatnot. When I got sick with that kidney transplant kidney disease rather,
Yeah.
Bozeman looked at me as damaged goods. I'm no longer profitable for Cal or for him personally, probably,
I got you.
because I'm sure he has a connection for his players to go with the business of basketball, under the table stuff. So once I got the kidney transplant, he looked at me as damaged goods and was basically throwing me to the waste.
Wow.
I had to start steroids. I started a steroid that could maybe reverse the disease, and they made me gain 20 pounds, made my face break out during the season. I'm traveling back and forth to have biopsies on my kidney or whatnot. So the whole season, I should have redshirted. But, people thinking I could still get through it and get to the NBA. I don't know why, but that was the thing. I was 19 years old. I didn't know what a kidney was before this happened.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Or the
So
severity.
my whole life changed from that point. But basically, that was the introduction of God coming into my life. That's how he introduced himself to me.
And then you jump started after that with Pepperdine. You continued your career playing overseas.
I redshirted at Pepperdine, got off the medication and whatnot. The kidney was being monitored, but it was going down slowly or whatnot. I was at 40% function when I played at Pepperdine.
Wow.
I was playing at 40%.
Wait,
Nobody really
your
knew
complete career?
No.
So the 2 year, you was at
2 year-
Pepperdine for that too.
Yeah,
You were playing with 40%?
I was at 40% kidney
Jesus
function.
Christ.
So when we had to run a mile at 5:30, people were looking at me. I'm, cut up and ripped like a high-level athlete that I am. But inside of me, my body is damaged. So, long distances, I could still sprint, but long distances, that was like kryptonite to me. I'm at 40% function. My muscles aren't getting the proteins that they're supposed to get. If I was at 100%, I would have been way faster, way more athletic, way more stamina, everything. I mean, I'm basically at less than half of my kidney function. So all those different things that need to come out of your body are staying in your body.
Gotcha.
Toxins.
Gotcha.
Now, but at Pepperdine, I feel like you had a couple, two first team WCC years.
Made first team.
Yeah,
both
first team
years.
WCC. So how was your time at Pepperdine? You were there with Romar, right?
It was good because Romar and Coach Bennett, who's my son's coach now, he was the assistant coach. Coach Kenny Ammon. We had Darwin Cook, who was an NBA veteran.
Yeah.
I learned a lot as a basketball player, but also going from the Pac-10 to the WCC is a slower game. So they're scoring 50 and 40 points. We're in the Pac-10, we scoring 80 and 90 and just going, and it's a slower game. So the numbers reflect that or whatnot. And we had a lot of transfers because people wanted to play for Romar. So we had
y'all had some talent one year. You might have had Tommy
Prince.
You had Brian Hills.
Gerald
Brown. Yeah.
We had a hell of a team.
That was a Pac-10 team. From
he
Phoenix.
And he made the league.
Yeah.
He played 2
Hell
years
yeah.
in Phoenix.
That team was stacked.
Yeah, my brother.
Was Mark there? with you at
No,
all?
no,
He
he
was
didn't
gone.
go. He
Okay.
wasn't there.
Okay.
But we had a very athletic team where we probably should have sped up the game some,
Yeah.
but we played just solid D, and it was slow games. But I really developed as a basketball player in terms of my skill, my footwork,
Mhm.
understanding even more how to be a point guard. And it really taught me a lot of things that translated into me becoming a coach.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's the
mean?
next question I have
Mm.
for you with your programs, your JAG programs, and you were inspiration to so many people. Your story is a testimony,
Appreciate it, brother.
you know, and you know what was the thing that you wanted to give back to the kids? I mean, of course you had a purpose, but what was the main thing you wanted them to see that they can get from this game?
Main thing is character through
Yeah,
the game of basketball. You know what I mean? Being a man of character, taking accountability for your actions,
got you.
learning hard work, learning responsibility, learning dedication, learning commitment, learning sacrifice, learning all the things that the game teaches you at a young age so you can use those things in your future as a, one of my players is Bryce Young, who's the quarterback for the
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Carolina
know Bryce.
Panthers.
Bryce played with
Right.
my son.
He ended up,
Yeah,
getting benched this year, and all these different, trials and tribulations you go through as a kid can help translate, you use them as a man. Me, I've been on dialysis 12 years, the last 12 years. After my mother gave me a kidney at 25, I went to go
hmm
play 10 more years overseas. Thank God to my mother.
right.
When I retired, soon after I went into coaching that year, after my first year, the kidney failed. They put me on dialysis the same day I went to the doctor, and they found a cancerous tumor on my kidney. I had to have a kidney removed.
Mhm.
So when I came back to the doctor, I had to go on dialysis and have one of my original kidneys removed. I've been on dialysis 12 years, and I just got the okay uh, last week that they gave me the okay to have my second kidney
We got to give
transplant.
it up for that right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, we definitely got to give it up to that right
And
there.
God bless.
I had an infection for a long time called valley fever that was holding me up. They didn't want to do the surgery until that was at a low enough level. And I got the call finally that was at a low enough level so we can put you back in the kidney transplant program. So
Mm.
I'm about to go through a metamorphosis, my second kidney transplant. And I'm so thankful, bro. When you go through tough times like that, it makes you appreciate the simple things in
Yeah, it
life.
does, bro.
You know what I mean? So
Well, you're
I,
not alone, man. We right here with you,
I
bro.
appreciate
You
you.
know what I'm saying?
And I look at it like this, man. What is it for a man to gain the world but lose his soul?
Yeah,
I was on the way, the person that I was at Cal, lost without God in my life. I didn't understand, you know, uh, being humble. I didn't understand treating people with
Yeah.
respect. I didn't understand that I'm just the same as everybody else. I'm just blessed with a talent.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to give back, all these different things that God taught me through our relationship that's developed through this kidney thing. But I lost the NBA, but I gained eternal life.
right.
So I'll take eternal life over the NBA all day
Life
long.
comes full circle.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But he might be giving me everything we lost with my sons.
Yeah.
right.
That's what I'm believing.
Definitely. Definitely. Now, what you got going on today? What's Jelani got going on right now? That we the people need to hear about, or you got anything interesting going on right now?
I stopped coaching. I took a
Mhm.
job in Reno. I took a 4-year contract, and
Mhm.
they told me I would be able to bring kids from Europe, and I brought a couple kids, and they weren't allowed to play in the
Oh,
Las
okay.
Vegas rule book. You can't have foreigners play in Las Vegas or Nevada.
That's
And they
crazy.
had me bring those kids out there, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Mhm.
So I know I love basketball. I study it still.
Mhm.
I got a lot to give, but right now I'm focused on getting myself together, getting my health together, getting this transplant, and being there for my family.
Right.
I got 5 kids. I got a 27-year-old son, Jace, who's in real estate, a 21-year-old son, Jazz, who's at St. Mary's. He's 7'1", 250 pounds. I got a 6'4", 19-year-old point guard. And then I got twin girls, 8 years old,
Mhm.
that I'm planning
Beautiful
on putting
family,
in
man.
tennis.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I saw. I saw him
Beautiful
playing tennis.
family.
Yeah.
I wanna do that, but I gotta have the energy and
Yeah.
I gotta be feeling good. So I'm focused on getting my health back. living
Yeah.
life again, bro. I haven't really lived in these last 12 years.
Right.
Every 3 days, I go to dialysis at 4 in the morning for the last 12 years.
See, that's
For
gotta be
for
tough.
4
That's
hours.
tough, man.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough. But man, before we wrap this up, man, we do something here with the Certified Hoop Legends brand where we rank you being a six man. You got to rank your top 5 players. I would say since you played at different schools, I'm gonna put some heat on you that you played with. Your
Period.
top 5 period that you played with
ARC, Bishop Vermont,
Throughout my whole
Boston.
career.
throughout your
Yeah.
whole career. What's your top 5 that you played with?
Hmm.
You the six man.
I definitely have to put Sharif in there. We would have scrimmages at Cal, and I feel like I did work. I might 28, 30 or whatever. You look up, he got 40, 45.
That's Sharif
15,
Abdul-Rahim.
40, 45, 15 rebounds. He just had a way of scoring and producing at a high level where you look up like, man, he came in as a freshman averaging 20-plus points, and that was unheard. Freshman of the year and player of the year. You got to respect that.
Okay.
That was unheard of in the Pac and back then. Tremaine Folks. I always admired Trey just for his archetype. He had a frame on him, man.
Baby MJ.
He had the almond fingernails, long fingernails, big shoulders, strong body, but skilled, athletic, quick, all of that.
Yeah.
Quick jumping.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Yeah, you can break some hearts too. Keep it 1,000 while. It might be some
You
people
got
who's
two.
gonna
You
call
need
you.
3 more.
Yeah, you got 3 more. It's gonna be some people who call you like Jelani.
Oh,
what about
Gerald
me?
Brown.
Gerald Brown.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Gerald
Sure.
Brown. He was a real high level player. I gotta put Tommy Prince in there.
Tommy
He's my
Prince, the
soldier,
gangster.
bro. This gangster on the
gangster.
court. He played with so much heart. Just you feel it, man. He didn't care nothing about
You
stats.
put him on anybody. He
Yeah,
guards everybody.
he's gonna lock up.
Yeah, he guards
He'd
everybody.
take a shot in the face. He don't care. He gonna keep coming. He refuses to back down. The heart of a champion. I put James Cotton in.
Okay. Okay. That's a
It
strong
was tough, but it was tough between Shea and James. But I gotta
Yeah.
go with the
put
older
James.
brother.
You got
'cause
to do that.
I played a whole season with James, and James, the way he worked himself and translated himself into a 2-guard from a foreman,
Mm-hmm.
an NBA 2-guard that could shoot on that level. You got to give him respect for that.
Yeah, well,
I'm leaving out all the overseas guys I played.
yeah, it's tough when you got to do a top 5 and we put some pressure on you.
Yeah, I'll
saying
pick
that
some
you
dudes from Russia or
ever
something like
played
that that don't
with.
even
Yeah.
touch the rim.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean?
again, man, we appreciate you joining us today. You are definitely a certified hoop legend. You're stamped by the
1,000.
people, certified,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we wish you the best, in your journey, man.
I appreciate it,
ain't
brother.
stopped yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now after we're done with Pepperdine, your career you start transition, from a college basketball player to a professional basketball player. Did you go to any Chicago pre-draft camps or Portsmouth or how did that go?
Man, I got blessed where the NBA, I went to the Phoenix, that Phoenix senior camp.
Okay.
I forgot what it was called, the Desert Classic.
Yeah.
You and
Yeah.
Trey went to
Yeah.
I think y'all
Trey
went that.
Trey went there.
Yeah.
Trey was a year
Trey-
earlier.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
I
that's
had-
right. That's
no,
true.
no,
That's
he
true.
wasn't because we both had to sit out.
Yeah.
I don't think Trey went.
Oh, he didn't go to that?
I didn't see him. But anyway, I did well there, and I had lunches with the Indiana Pacers owner. I had a luncheon with the Chicago Bulls, and I had a luncheon with the Boston Celtics.
Mhm.
I was my mind wasn't all the way there, man, because I knew I had this underlying health issue, and I'm praying for a miracle. Like, God, you gonna let me get in here
Yeah.
by a miracle? But man, I can't pass any physical, so I did well. They didn't do a physical at the Desert Classic. And then I got invited to Chicago, the top 60 players in the country, so I'm feeling like I got a shot. And I went to a lot of workouts. I worked out with, my last workout was the Sacramento Kings with Ryan Robertson and Keywan Garris from Illinois. And they had the 45th pick, and I'm watching the draft, praying for a miracle, and they take Ryan Robertson. And no disrespect, but I felt like I gave him good business that day, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
And did they
I
have?
never know if I passed the physical or not.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was
Because
about
I
to
went
ask
to
you.
Chicago, and this is what happened. It's a crazy story. I used Thomas, what was the guy that went to New Mexico? Kenny Thomas.
Yeah.
Kenny Thomas, yeah.
Kenny Thomas, I used his urine. Sorry to say. I
Not
used his
Kenny
urine.
Thomas urine.
I used his
No.
urine. It was clean.
Oh, okay.
And my urine was going to show
Yeah.
I had a problem.
Yeah.
So they come back to me after the Chicago test. And crazy thing is, on my team is Chris Herron. And we played him that year
You
at
don't want
Fresno
his
State.
urine.
We
You didn't
beat-
want
no,
Chris
no, I
urine.
didn't want Chris's
You didn't
urine.
want Chris. You didn't want to touch Chris urine.
Chris and
Yeah.
I were on the same team on the Chicago team where we're playing or whatever. And we played them at Pepperdine that year. We beat Fresno State at our spot. And they comparing us. We both was McDonald's All-American the same year or whatnot. But they put us on the same team, and we both want to play point guard. Chris ended up getting drafted 30th or something like that.
Right.
Anyway,
Nuggets.
yeah, I used Kenny Thomas's urine, and they come back to me and say, hey, it's a problem with your blood because they got the numbers on the jersey. And I thought about it, being witty, like I am. I said, man, I could put this jersey on another bald head brother and let him go get his blood, and I could possibly get drafted. But what's going to happen when I go to vet camp? What's going to happen? It's going to be on the news. Now I'm not going to be able to play nowhere. So I went back and gave my own blood. They never crossed my name off the thing where you like done in Chicago. They left my name up there, so I didn't pass the physical. And they don't call you and say, hey, you never passed the physical, you just don't get drafted.
Yeah.
So, I ended up not getting drafted, but I went to those camps. I got invited. And one of the top 60 players, you figure you got a good chance of getting drafted. You know what I mean?
And then was your next step? Was you like, all right?
And that was always my dream, man.
Yeah.
To get
Like,
drafted.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
looked at my father would use the bathroom and put the paper in the newspaper in the bathroom. Every draft, I look at the draft and look at the picks and whatnot every time.
And being a McDonald's
For
All-American,
years.
you felt like you was close to that
Yeah.
goal.
Well, when my arrogance came, that's
Yeah.
probably when I lost it, because I
Yeah.
would tell people, man, I'm about to get 60 million. What you
Right.
talking?
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? I felt like it was guaranteed, and
Yeah.
you looking what people were saying about me, they felt like it was guaranteed that I was going to be a high-level NBA player.
Right.
But it wasn't God's plan.
Was it known by people about the kidney, or
No,
or was just okay?
You can't put it out there
Yeah.
because then everybody knows I wouldn't have
Yeah,
been able to
yeah.
play anywhere.
But in
Right.
college at all, or
My
anything?
coaches knew.
Or just the coach? Okay.
Just my coaches knew, and I was getting checkups at UCLA to make sure everything was good. But he was affecting my minutes by the way that he felt like I was unhealthy. So he's
Okay.
taking me out when I
Yeah.
could hoop, though, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I can hoop. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I might not be able to run that mile in 5:30 or whatever, but in sprints, I could do what I do. You don't need to take away my minutes, but my minutes was affected because he felt like I wasn't healthy or whatnot. So what I did was I ended up getting a job in Israel. I
That's
got
your
a
first
job
job.
in Israel, the first division Israel. I took that and went over to Rishon, Israel.
How
My
many
first
years?
time overseas.
How was that experience?
It was crazy, man, because you hearing all these war stories and don't go there and all
Yeah.
that. And you get there and it's beautiful. It's like Miami, people walking the streets at midnight or whatnot. And I didn't know the history of our people back then. And so, it was a different dynamic in terms of how, what I thought of them or whatnot, those people there. But I was blessed. I was in the first division. A lot of dudes was over there not making what I was making. But I felt like I should have been in the NBA.
Right.
So somebody called me telling me the Lakers want to bring me to camp while I'm in Israel, one of my agents. And I guess it wasn't true. I ended up in the CBA. And I did work there, and I had a lot of tryouts that summer, like they still didn't know I was sick. I went on a tour, like 10, 12 teams. But, I knew what it was. So next year I went to Germany. Second year to Germany. Then I went to Dominican Republic that summer. And when I came back, my mother was like, you need to take a test to see where you are with your kidneys. I went to take that test. They put me on dialysis that day. And I remember the doctor digging in my chest, trying to find a vein. And a tear just ran down my eye. I couldn't even close my car door. And I went on dialysis. I was on there 3 months. And my mother gave me the kidney at 52. So I was only out that 1 year, and then I went right back. But that year I was out, I met my wife in my local church. She was visiting from Paris.
Whoa. Wow.
She
Oh,
said New
okay.
York or LA. She chose LA, and she had a family friend in the West Covina area. And the family's friend's wife was jealous of her, so he sent her to a Mexican family to stay with that she didn't even know. I didn't know her. She wanted to hear the black music at the church. They gave her directions back then. There was no phones or whatever. She found the black church, didn't even speak English. We sat in the same row. I was there with my oldest son. And I looked at her like, man, you don't look like you from here. Something different about you. We started hanging out or whatever. And then my dad is like, Jay, you know, these bills are stacking up. The pressure's building. Something got to happen. I went upstairs and cried to God, like, Lord, I never had a regular job. What do I do? They called me the next morning from France, where she's from. She's coming back to visit me from France. I'm going to France. She stayed with my family a week and come to France. We end up getting married in March of that year. Next year, Jazz is born. You know, it's a crazy story, bro.
Yeah, that's life right there. That's
Yeah,
life. You never know.
that's all the Lord right
Yeah,
there.
never know.
Was that the last place you played at France? In France?
France, and then I stayed out there for 3, 4, 5 years. Got my French citizenship.
Okay.
Got my boys their French citizenship. They got dual citizenship
yeah.
now. Then once I got that, I went to Cyprus. I went to Russia. I went to Greece. I went to London, and then I came back and finished in France. 12 years.
Yeah, you had a hell of a journey, bro.
Oh,
God has been good to me,
Yeah.
bro.
what was your favorite place out of all the places?
France is like home. Her
Okay.
family is from there. I got to learn to speak a little bit of French. You know, it's domesticated where you're gonna get your money
Yeah.
on time every month. You know what I mean? They even give you unemployment in the summer. They take care of free medical for their citizens. You know what I'm saying? So it was like home for me in France. Russia was nice for me. I was in Siberia. It's minus 25.
Yeah.
But that
Minus
cold weather
25,
worked
man.
good with my body after
Oh,
that
yeah.
kidney
Oh, yeah.
transplant. I went to Cyprus and it was so hot, I'm dripping like sweat and I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I went to Russia and it was minus 25 and that cold and I was just killing. Dropped 25 on Cisco Moscow that year. And just went up and up. He gave me everything I lost and let me get all my basketball love out of me.
Right.
So when I retired, I was cool on basketball. I got it all out.
You got it all
I
out.
don't need to go to LA Fitness and play no more. I
Yeah,
got it
yeah,
all
yeah.
out. That last year, I was ready for it. You know what I mean?
That's a cool story, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's amazing the path that God has everybody on. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's all a different path. You know, our life experiences are all completely already patterned to where we want them to go, but it might not go that way. But eventually, you know what I'm saying? We've been blessed to end up where we are right now because we all have had different basketball paths as well, you know,
Absolutely.
to all end up here. It's still friends,
it's
you know
a
what I'm saying?
Blessing. It's a
Yeah.
blessing.
And so, you know, I call it, you know, when people talk to me, I say this is my hoop family, you know what I'm
It's
saying?
a brotherhood.
Because these
You know, it's a
It's a
relationships,
brotherhood, man.
yeah, these
You know what's
relationships,
interesting?
yeah.
And at Bosco, they used to have a program and they asked us questions, right? And they asked, what do you see yourself doing in 10 years? And I wrote playing professional basketball. And that's exactly what I was doing. I didn't say NBA player. I didn't say NBA All-Star. I said playing professional basketball. And you speak what you want into existence. You know what I mean? But growing up, college basketball was everything to me. That was my dream, to be in the Final Four and playing on that stage and not going to UCLA. I was watching that freshman year when they went in the championship and we were at home. And, you know, just decisions you make, you know, change your trajectory. Not saying, you know, Cal was a bad decision. It could have worked out. It would have worked out if I was healthy. We were top 10 in the country my sophomore year. We could have done the same thing. Even after I left Cal that junior year, after me and Trey left and Sharif left, they was playing in the tournament against North Carolina. So if we would have had us three on that team, you know what I mean, it would have been a different ball game. But, you know, God has been good to me. I
God
can't
is
complain.
good, bro.
I'm
God is
still
good.
here. I could have been dead years ago.
Yeah.
People die on dialysis every day. And I actually had an episode when I was in Reno where I almost died. Fluid had got into my lungs and I couldn't breathe. I was like suffocating to death. And luckily my wife heard me from upstairs and called the ambulance because I couldn't even got enough air out to call anybody. I wouldn't even been able to say anything. I would have just been probably suffocated to death. Thank God, you know, I'm still here.
You're
But
still here, man.
God is good, man.
Yeah.
I just want to be here for my kids. That's
Still
it.
here,
It's
man.
not about me.
Right.
It's about
right.
being here for my kids and setting them up for their futures. That's
Right.
it. And the minute I retired, that was my mindset. It's all about my sons,
Right.
giving them everything I got daily so they can be high-level players and maximize their futures.
Yeah.
I had my run. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, man, in closing, we appreciate you taking time out to come here today and join us and share your story with us, man. You know, it's a strong testimony, and we appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
And if
So-
it could help one person out there, that's all it's about.
Yeah.
Keep going and keep fighting.
Yeah. So, you know, we'd like to thank you. Thanks, Mike O'Quinn, for joining us today. We also like to give a shout out to the world famous VIP Records and Studios.
VIP, stand up. Go ahead.
And also Manhattan Beach Studios. Until next episode, we'll see you.
Peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate
It'd be
y'all,
so
man.
much. Unless you want to talk
To
about,
put
bro.
in 45
You know what I'm saying?
minutes,
It's a lot.
I'm trying to write a book.
Hey,
Trying to
what's
write a
the-
book.
Yeah.
Trying to put it